Hello, my name is William Remmers, founder and artistic director of Utopia Opera. I look like this now. So this is the commentary track for our 2020 short film, A Special Announcement, in which we detailed the things we are going to be doing in the future, as 2021 didn't turn out in the bright and sunny way that we expected to in 2020. Much of the things I say in this video are still true. In fact, all of them are. But I thought it would be fun to do a little commentary track of last year's announcement, seeing as we're pretty much in the same place, and give you a little behind-the-scenes Hollywood scoop on how the sausage is born. So, of course, you might recognize Luigi Boccherini's string quintet, minuet in this section. I play that on the guitar, but you'll say, how do you play a string quintet on the guitar? They fooled you. I played the parts separately and then recorded them and then they were on top of each other. It's something we can't do a lot of times in live theater. But here on Broadway, the whole thing is pre-recorded anyway, so I mean, it's pretty much the same. So up next, I'm going to be talking a little bit about our Carmen and Mozart and Salieri productions. Those are still on the fire. So in the meantime, let's talk about the background. You'll notice that I have a little more decorations here. I have these Edvard Grieg complete art songs and a Disneyland record of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs soundtrack. And Robert Montgomery and Norma Shearer little portraits. You might notice the barometer is gone. It's now Kate Bush. Sort of happens from time to time. Olivia de Havilland, she's still here, so that's good. Nobody has to worry. And the organ still sounds weird. So that's basically it. Now we go on to a sequence here, which critics were startled by because of its use of subterfuge and hats. So this is a song called Ragtime Goblin Man, which I found on the YouTube channel Sheet Music Singer, where they record very straightforward, very to-the-note versions of obscure sheet music they find. Lots of neat stuff to discover on that site, including the early Elf Frank Baum musical songs from like 1904 for the Oz universe. They were Broadway shows, and those songs are on Sheet Music Singer. You can hear them. Here's a little bit of movie magic I'll share with you. So we're doing a Pirates joke here, poking a little fun at the idea of trying to do live music on Zoom. I applaud everybody who's tried, but there are obviously a lot of technical challenges, including, syncing people up and people, they don't have their microphone on and stuff. But you'll notice, look at all the video tracks here. This is actually the most complicated part. This part took the longest of the whole video because Zoom didn't record the names of the characters we had put in. So I put them in later. And check this out. The joke is that Dan is muted. You see that little red mute icon? Pretty cool, right? But now watch this. If I click this button, it goes away. Dan isn't muted. So wait a minute. I put that there. And that, my friends, is the magic of the movies. You also see there, I put a little extra screaming in. Look at that. In the recorded music industry, we call that a sweetener. So that's our second fake bit. But I think my favorite of the fake bits, the fake things we allegedly did in 2020, was a socially distanced outdoor performance of Falstaff. And I thank very much Annalise and Katie for coming out in the cold last December to film this segment, which makes me laugh. So I'm going to watch it now. We had the perfect day. This is over, well, I won't tell you where I live so you don't dox me, but this is over in the park by where I live. And we had the Falstaff sheet music. It sort of all fell into place because Katie had just done the role of Ninetta, and Falstaff's one of the shows we've done, so I have the books lying around. And Annalise, we said, well, let's do the first violin part. We wanted to find a moment where if it was just one violin and one singer, that it would be the funniest. So this little transitional moment in Act 1, Scene 2 proved to be the funniest. If you know the other parts, I encourage you, sing along next time you watch the video. You'll see how well you do. But there's some movie magic in here that I'll show you. because Katie's got the mask on, it sort of helped a lot because it meant that we didn't actually have to have anything match. Because obviously we don't have a multi-camera setup. So when you're doing a thing like this, we don't got multi-camera. So a lot of times you're taking multiple takes and hoping they match up. With live opera, it's very difficult to do because we're not Broadway. We're not performing it to a click track or anything stupid like that. So it could be different tempos each time, different readings. So when we're editing the things together, sometimes it takes a little bit of work. And it was a lot of fun. So this is this section. I'm going to watch it one more time. But it's the movie magic here. The movie magic here is that you're seeing when that drops, that's a different take that I cut to. So you don't even need, you could just film whatever you want and put it together later. They call that fixing it in post in the industry. They call it, so say we're going to fix it in post. Let's just say that next time you're anywhere. So now we're talking about the Opera News issue, which we were on the cover of. We were one of the featured companies on the cover of that issue in 2016, almost 6 years ago now. And that's a quote I said. End quote. They didn't let me proof it. I don't know nothing about the world. So when we did our interview, the roundtable of the different companies that they were featuring, I was so nervous because they put us on the spot with all sorts of questions. And I said, can we see which answers you're putting in the magazine? And they said, no way, Sonny. And I was like, oh, hopefully nothing embarrassing goes in. And I think we came off okay. But I love and hate that quote because it's, as much as I enjoy the fact that I think we put on a disproportionately high amount of comedies, and our social media presence is unusually goofy for an opera company. You don't want to go out there and say that, you know, give yourself a superlative. Of course, I'm still a little hurt about not getting most musical in high school. Still bothers me to this day. I got most likely to be famous, and look how that turned out. But the most musical was a big burn, because at the end of the yearbook, they'd ask you a question associated with your superlative. And the person who got most musical, they asked the person, who's your favorite composer? And the answer they put, which is published in the yearbook, was Yo-Yo Ma. Parentheses. I can't even read music. Smiley face, close parenthesis. And I was furious about this. I said that, and everyone else said this. And I said, and they said, and it went back and forth and back and forth. We got nowhere. I don't know what that person's doing now, but hopefully they have learned to read music and are now working with the famous composer Yo-Yo Ma. Meanwhile, what is this about? Oh yeah, the Opera News thing. I mean, at least me saying we're the funniest company isn't as embarrassing as what that person said in a high school yearbook. You know what I mean? That's the worst. It'd be worse if in Opera News I said, what's an opera? You mean like like opera? Uma? Opera. Opera Uma. The Oscars in 1995.
Oprah? Uma? Uma?
Oprah.
Oprah?
David Letterman, you're not.
Great things. January 2021 marks the 10th. I love sitting like that. That's one of my favorite ways to sit, but I'm holding the microphone now just so that I can better compete with the voice that you're hearing now. Yeah, our 10th anniversary, it kind of had to come and go, but we did post a video on Instagram, our first show. A special concert celebrating the music of the Beatles. Oh, it'd be so good if we were doing that right now with Get Back. Just you guys see Get Back? Did you see? Oh, ruled. A lot of people didn't recognize that as the first notes of The Wizard of Oz. And you know what that is. That's Tommy. Tommy Bahami. Tommy Bahami by The Who. The great news is Pinball Wizard. Hot take. The film, 1975 film of Tommy, directed by Ken Russell, is 1,000 times better than the 1969 album. Because the album sounds like it's got no notes in it, but the movie has so many notes because there's all sorts of more instruments. It's one reason opera is better than rock and roll. You know what I mean? I'm tempted to rank these productions right now. At the risk of hurting anyone's feelings, I will say, though, that in the last couple years, I've had a lot of time to take stock of the memories that I treasure the most. And which shows, I think, felt like they transformed my life the most. And a lot of times our favorites aren't always the ones that were the ones that had the most audience. Our highest selling shows of all time in terms of audience attendance were sometimes surprising to us. And the ones that didn't have as many audience members, we were also similarly surprised. But you never know. I mean, there's a variety of factors that goes into what people attend. And as you're always competing with staying at home and watching Netflix or streaming the web, you gotta take the blows as they come. But one show that means a lot to me that I wish more people had seen was Hydrogen Jukebox, the Philip Glass opera. And as it only had a cast of 6, an orchestra of 6, I can see that a lot of times the best-selling shows we do have big casts, and that has always proven true. And there's a logic to it, right? People bring their friends. But if there's one of these shows I hope you vote for us to do again, I hope you pick Hydrogen Jukebox, because it's sort of a life-changing show and one you need to see twice. So if you vote for it, we'll do it 1,000 times.
By the way, thanks for voting.
That's a veiled reference towards the recent election, which at the time we all said, hey,
Utopia Opera is a non-profit organization and has no political opinion nor political affiliation, nor do they align themselves with any political idea or candidate or persons or beliefs. If you ever think that they do, you are wrong. Don't think that. Stop thinking that we have a political opinion ever.
Wishful thinking.
All of these plans have been set in motion.
The lighting for this was good, but you'll notice that one of the angles of me is consistently out of focus. Mea culpa. Listen, I was doing it myself, and I was like, I'm going to get this done in 2 hours so that I'm not... Oh, this is true, by the way. This would happen. This pipe that's behind me always clangs in the winter, and there was alarms going off. But you'll see in the audio tracks there's a second one. I added a sweetener. Should have let you guess. But yeah, I added a little sweetener. So a lot of times what you'll do is you'll just get lots of alternate takes. I mean, this was an easier video to record than the one I'm doing now in a way, because I had a script of all the lines, and I had it segmented by which angle was going to be what. All the angles were pretty previously choreographed, so I knew that they would be funny when they cut. And it's consistently like the one of the 2 side angles. I bungled it. It's always fuzzy. That's always bothered me, but not something you can fix after the fact, unless I want to make the other 2 fuzzy to match, but that's not any good. But that was kind of an easy thing, because I would just record a few line readings of each, put them all in, and then I had sort of a script for it. Here, you don't know this. This is the 9th time I've recorded this commentary track. Today. So yeah, you get lots of extra stuff. You can borrow sound from another take of the cars going off and add a little bit of stuff, and helps the joke land. Something that seems really spontaneous can often be incredibly constructed to manipulate you. What a story. What am I talking about? Talking about the voting. Yeah, you're always going to get to vote. That's the company's gimmick, and for a lot of people, it's a thing that we are known for, so... That's a pretty funny thing. Okay, don't Google it, but what Gilbert and Sullivan show is that a quote from? I'm going to give it to you again. I don't have a rewind button, so I got to do the... Okay, what's this quote from?
But what are we to do in the meantime?
I'll give you a hint. It's in the Gondoliers. I didn't know. I fell right into that. I didn't know. Did you hear? I just did a Frank McHugh for a second. I just did a Frank McHugh laugh. I can't do it on purpose. It has to be real. But I just did a Frank McHugh laugh. There's Frank McHugh. One of my nice outdoors events I did this past year is I went to visit his grave in Connecticut. And there's a clip of him in the film Virginia City, which is a terrible film. Regardless of that, in Virginia City, there's this bit where Frank McHugh hasn't shown up in the film yet, is introduced through this long shot where it just goes in on him slowly, and then he's in this stagecoach, and you suddenly see him through a window.
This is most uncomfortable. I've never had such a rough ride. My congressman will certainly hear about this road. In fact, I think I'll write to President Lincoln.
And I love that scene so much that I visited his grave and played the clip from that movie for him. And I did explain to him, I explained to his headstone what Instagram was. And as I understand it, he's now an influencer, so. Well done, Frank. We'll fix it in post.
We hope that you remain happy, healthy, and safe.
Until next time.
Wear a mask.
Wear a mask.
We love you.
We love you. No, seriously, wear a mask, though. For forget 5 days, for 1,000 days. Wear a mask for the rest of your life.
If you ever stop wearing a mask,
I'll never talk to you again. I cannot wear a mask because I'm alone right now in the apartment, and I haven't been outside the apartment in 800 days. This is the Boccherini again, but it's a rock song now. Isn't that funny? I just want to I want to talk about a joke that got cut. There's a joke that got cut from the end of this, and I think I can show you right now what it would have been. So let me go to the here. Hold on. It's very annoying when you open up a old file. Hold on, I gotta go to. I've allegedly taken courses in this. When I graduated high school, my yearbook, the yearbook that made me sad because of Yo-Yo Ma, everybody signed my yearbook saying, "See you at the Oscars. Most likely to be famous person who's gonna film school." What a twist that was. Okay, so unrelated to Utopia Opera, I have used this joke before in a video called I only have 10% battery left. I don't think I can get this bit done in time. I gotta make sure I save this and not lose it. Well, now this is so unfair to you because this is what pretty much the last 2 years have been. Is hang on once. Let me just see if I can. Hold on. Okay, it's gonna say Gracie Films, so let me just type that in. Oh, is it just the sound clip? Shh. I don't know why the video is not there, of the shh and then the 20th Century Fox logo. It's because that's how The Simpsons end, right? When you watch The Simpsons on TV back in the 90s before it got canceled, thankfully, in the year 2000. And I stuck that at the end of the Pete of the Grease Halloween special, which I recommend in case you want to see the other character I play in front of this organ. But again, I've had too many times that the Funniest Opera Company turned out to not be clear it was making a joke. And I didn't want the Gracie Films logo to confuse anyone and have them go, "What, is he telling me to shush? Shh. What, is that for me? Are you telling me I gotta shush now?" So anyway, this has been the commentary track. If you like the Utopia Opera shows where there's a big speech at the beginning, then you've had a great time. If that's your least favorite part, well, you're a masochist, and all the power to you. I'm not gonna kink shame. This is opera. Opera, we embrace people's differences. And ideally, we don't pay $3 million settlements to abusers. I mean, these are to me normal things to ask of an arts organization. So otherwise, we'll be seeing you soon. I think it's still a little too soon to know how things are going. I think a lot of people have put valiant efforts together to make things happen. It requires a lot of backup and a lot of resources to make shows happen right now with any degree of safety. And obviously there's always a percentage of chance that things go wrong, as we've seen on Broadway and elsewhere, that it's not going to be perfect and people are still getting sick. And given that we have smaller resources than most of these other groups, I wanted to not reach too far when people's healths, people's lives and well-beings are on the line. And that's for our audience and for our cast. So I applaud everybody who's had the courage to try to put a show on. I applaud doubly anybody who made that difficult call to cancel shows, because I know that we had to do it the one time. I never want to have to do that again. So I don't want to be in a position now where that seems like it might be the way things go. We're going to keep it safe. If you think you have a bright outdoor location for us to perform in, please let us know. There is, in fact, a secret. We have done a show since you saw us last. We did our GNS Quartet show in an outdoor venue in the Poconos in this past summer of 2021. If you think you want to bring any of our past shows or possibly any future shows that you think would work for us to your venue, it would be something in the spring or summer outdoors, I'm reckoning. Please let us know. I think that's after all the jokes, this is the serious moment, and that's what I hope you take from this video if you've gotten this far through all the jokes. Jokes. The funniest company. I can't even read music. Anyway, Frank and I, we're going to go now and catch some fish. So we're going to go catch some fish.